is not this far, right? So it's going to be very, very unlikely for him to be booted out.
The real question is anybody new going to pop in from the points today that popped somebody out that was in there? That's always the interesting thing for me.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
going to be the big one.
Let's go. So we're loading up. We've got a Shadowcraft deck on Sheepy's side up against the Dragoncraft deck of FELERAN.
Oh, yes.
Of course, this is the neutral Dragoncraft deck.
The Shadow Reaper.
And the Shadow Reaper tech of Sheepy. He kept it last time. I don't imagine he's going to throw it away this time. It was against Dragoncraft again as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep it. Keep it, Sheepy. It was against Suktar's Dragoncraft deck, which was very, very different. And I think that might be one of the considerations.
Although there's a lot more board trading going on in this type of a matchup when there's Lyrials and Sector and all the other neutral followers that this this Dragoncraft deck is putting together here. See, Sheepy's taking a while on this one. I think we're going back to like old school Sheepy, where it's like, all right, max time every turn, got to make these decisions count.
Occasionally he returns to that state of being, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel like he still plays just as good.
Well, yeah, I mean, Sheepy definitely I don't think has lost a step in his playing. I don't even feel like when he plays faster, it's worse or different. It's just sometimes he decides to play slower and make the same plays. But again, this is high pressure situation. He doesn't want to take any chances. You know, he's done the math on his respective points a lot better than we have going into this, so he knows what he has to place to get there. He doesn't want to lose. And also, we talked about it yesterday. When you play against a higher ranked opponent and you want to knock them out, you don't want to play against who you think is going to be fierce competition in the top 8. So you take every opportunity you can to knock them down.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing for $6,500. You don't want to give them a chance.
No chance.
No chance. Like, if it was me in the finals against Akamaru Red, right? I like Akamaru Red, right? Akamaru Red's a cool guy. Even Ottawame, we're in the finals. If they win, they get a slot, and we're both in. If I win, I'm in, and they don't get a slot, I'm playing them every time. Let's go. Beating you up. You got no chance. And then if they beat me, they earned it.
You don't want to ever be the person who was in it but lost. Right. You want to be a first-place winner.
Of course.
Or a 2-time first-place winner. Or a 3-time first-place winner.
Making it to the top 8 is great. You get money. It's good stuff, but you definitely want to win. That's the end goal. And Sheepy's definitely in full-on Sheepy mode right now.
He's thinking about all the details of the world and the universe.
That's right. What do you think he's contemplating right now?
He might be thinking about food.
Uh-huh.
I know I would be.
He could be eating food.
Yeah.
He
could be hanging out with his doggy.
Yes. Could be cleaning his glasses.
Yes. There's a lot of things that he could be thinking about.
Yeah.
He could also be thinking about the goblin.
Yep, and how cool it looks.
It is kind of an awkward turn. You have to just kind of play the goblin on 2.
Yep, still the best option, though. You don't want to play the Demon Eater out there for no value. That never feels good.
This will make it hard for that Shadow Reaper to find effect.
And honestly, there's a really nice curve for FELERAN here. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff that we normally don't see Dragoncraft be able to put together. I like it. He's just got a nice curve instead of relying heavily on the ramp.
Sector.
We want to call that guy mini abs, but that guy's got more abs than abs. Got abs. Look at that. Look at that guy.
That guy has abs. Yeah. Look at the muscles on his back too. It's crazy.
Ridiculous. Goblin don't care though.
Yeah, the goblin's brave.
Yeah, he just tramples right past it. He's like, "What's up, man? I'm hitting your leader."
Okay.
How do you think goblins walk? I don't think they walk normally. For me, I feel like they like skip.
They probably waddle really fast. Or skip. Skip probably.
Maybe like a mixture between like a penguin and like a bird when they walk. I mean, a penguin is a bird, but you know, like a regular bird. You know, like a pigeon or something.
What's wrong with penguins? Why aren't they regular birds?
They're not regular birds. They don't fly. Okay, they swim. That's not regular bird style. Okay, they waddle.
I'm sure once upon a time all birds swam. Unless you don't believe in evolution.
Ooh, that's a good one. You know what? I'm putting my foot down. Evolution is a scam. It's a scam. Creationism is the way to go.
Oh my God.
Also, if evolution wasn't real, would a term like evolution orb makes a lot of sense?
Yeah. Yeah, evolution is obviously a real-world thing. I've seen far too many Lirials evolve to know that, you know?
That's why you believe in evolution.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, I
How
get
else
it
would
now.
the Lirial get its effect?
It's true.
All right. The turns continue to be a little wonky, I feel like.
Yeah, not clear-cut options for Sheepy. I mean, this is just another one of those draws where it's kind of like you just got to work with what you got.
What you got for me, Sheepy?
That's right. Now, he could trade in the Singer to get a better draw this turn, but that kind of shuts off a few options. He could be considering playing Shadow Reaper here to get some value out of it. This is kind of a really clunky hand to get value out of it.
Yeah. He can force a situation by Lurching Corpse Demon Eatering on the next turn.
I kind of like it. I kind of like the Shadow Reaper here. Trade in the Pure-Hearted Singer. See what you get. Hopefully a Goblin.
Gobby Gobby Goblin. Ector. Nope. That's actually pretty good, too.
Skull Ring's not bad.
Too bad it doesn't bring back the Shadow Reaper.
Yeah. That would be crazy. If Shadow Reaper got back with Skull Ring, if it was still a 2-drop, get out of here. I'm not playing. I'm not playing this. This is too much. Too many Shadow Reaper. That's right. In FELERAN's deck, he's got 3 Hamsas.
The Hamsa tilting.
Imagine that against old Shadow Reaper. Like, you play a tilting, your opponent's like, yeah, well, I've got like a 12-12 Shadow Reaper. And you're like, Hamsa, Hamsa, Hamsa. What's up?
I've got 3 12-2 Hamsas.
Yeah, have fun with that.
With Storm.
Yeah, deal with it.
Yeah, both players are very methodical and slow-paced.
I feel like this turn is a good turn to ramp. You can set up. He might want a Uriel. I don't know what the Uriel fetches in this deck. Probably a Canyon. Could be tilting. Actually, no, it is tilting in this deck. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
He's got Hamsas in his deck.
I think it is tilting.
Yeah.
The player with the tilting and the Canyon was... Was it FELERAN? No.
I don't think so. I think it was Classic Man. Classic Man had them both.
I think it was Classic Man, yeah. Yeah, it was Classic Man. Yup.
Yeah, tilting Hamsa. It's interesting. We haven't seen Kaiza played with tilting at windmills in a long time. So you can shotgun with the carrots. All right, Uriel is the play. So set up the tilting.
Okay. Oh, Ector was pulled here. So I do think, for the sake of buffing up your Shadow Reaper, I would say you blow all your resources.
Just go all in. I think Skull Ring into Demon Eater is a pretty good turn here. I don't mind that turn at all.
Demon Eater, evolve a skeleton into the Uriel.
Yep, that works. And then you pump up the Shadow Reaper, get some good damage in.
What are you bringing back on the 2-drop?
I mean, that depends. It's not going to pop next turn, so you can set up a Lurching Corpse. I mean, it could be a Demon Eater. Demon Eater is, of course, an option.
Which is the option that makes you the most upset.
Yeah, looks like this is going to be the play.
Here comes the Demon Eater. Drawing options always good, especially before these later turns. Having Odal in hand is very helpful, and the Ector as well, very helpful.
Not a big fan of this evolve. This, of course, does let you stick the evolve follower in play, but it allows for some value trading with the Pure-Hearted Singer here.
Yeah, unless he chooses to go into the Pure-Hearted with the Shadow Reaper.
Wow.
Yep.
Interesting. So losing out on the Evo damage and the Shadow Reaper damage, not going face here. Wanting to play a late game against a Tilting at Windmills deck. Interesting. This is a turn 5. This is a perfect turn to set up for it, though. This is right before Breath of the Salamander. This is generally when they play a Draconic Fervor or a Sybil. So this is a kind of tight spot because the Sybil won't actually heal into defense this turn either. But because this is neutral dragon, Hector is also an option. It's a little different than the regular Dragoncraft decks turn 5.
Yeah, the neutral dragon list. Very, very strange.
We said you could do it with anything, you know.
Yeah.
Normally we see there are neutrals cards in the Dragoncraft list, like of course they have the Sahagwils and the Bahamut's and stuff, but we definitely don't see the Hectors and the Sectors and all that kind of stuff in the list.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want, but did we lie to you?
What do you mean?
Can you actually?
I've never lied.
You believe wholeheartedly in your statement.
Yeah, you could put neutral in any class.
Mm-hmm.
It probably would make Portalcraft a more robust deck at the moment, with its lack of cards.
FELERAN is considering every single turn. That's unfortunate.
Yep, interesting line. So apparently he wanted to ramp this turn. That makes a lot of sense. This allows him to get his tilting out earlier. The other play would have been, of course, Hector and not lose a follower that turn.
Another skull ring. Yeah. There's just a lot of empty space. I mean, after the tilting comes down, I feel like the game accelerates, but this is dangerous to me.
I think this is an O-Dial turn. I think you recognize what just happened. You know that he played a Uriel. He wants to play the tilting at windmills on 7. You punish that with an O-Dial, which is a ton of damage to present. It might stop the tilting for at least a turn.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to justify not dealing with the O-Dial.
Because if you don't, I mean, the biggest plays you have, right, are just playing out a Lyriel and a Lurching Corpse. I mean, maybe a Skull Ring here. That's not a lot of damage. And then tilting at windmills followed by, you know, just big turns, turn after turn. Wipe away any small advantage.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
I think O-Dial's the play here.
I think you could also try to go wide. Then your Hector punish will be bigger.
Right. That is true. You are setting up an Hector turn, which means that Skull Ring going wide is kind of awkward.
Yeah, because it's going to do 3 cards on the table, which locks you out.
And the next card that's coming up, yeah, it looks like he's going to go with the O-Dial here.
The only thing about it is having to run into the Odette.
Yeah, it kind of stinks, but that kind of goes with the territory. You get a card that evolves for free.
Yeah. I always think that you should find some way to run something else into the Odette. Maintain the 6/5.
Yeah. If it's possible.
But in FELERAN's case, doesn't make a difference because he still needs to evolve something to take action. It's probably going to be a Sybil.
Yeah, I mean, again, he can play Hector. Doesn't have to evolve.
That's right, yeah.
He's got plenty of neutral cards in hand. He might want to take the risk for the tilting. I don't think it's worth it. I feel like playing tilting next turn right before a Israfil play is just as strong.
Yeah. Tilting into Israfil is crazy.
Yeah, probably the best card outside of Bahamut with tilting of tilting at windmills.
So the Israfil, I believe, does not actually get the Storm because it's not played from hand, I believe.
What you talking about?
If you play tilting and then you do Sahagwil Israfil.
If you do Sahagwil Israfil,
Yeah.
yes. I'm just talking about playing Israfil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you're talking about some damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Get some use out of the Hamsa here, too, which is very interesting. So Hamsa played Hector to deal with the O-Dial. Hamsa's kind of menacing.
Yeah, behind the ward, too.
Yeah.
Hamsa that's learned the tactics of utilizing a shield.
And unfortunately, a Demon Eater is what was pulled out of the Skull Ring.
Yeah, this is a very awkward spot.
What a weird card to add some interesting spice to this game. Hamsa's just like, you know what? I'm pretty unassuming, but I'm a 6'2". Do you really want to let me live?
Yeah. It's super dangerous. It's the combination of the Hamsa plus the Hector ward. That's what makes it even more dangerous, but there's definitely a way to handle it.
I mean, he's got Lurching Corpse, Necro Assassin in hand, so he can go for the full combo if he wants to. He's got a backup full combo in hand as well.
I do think that is very valuable.
I don't know. When you know your opponent has tilting at windmills, do you really want to be holding Necro Assassins? I don't think Necro Assassin's really that great. Now, holding the Lurching Corpses is good, but I think he is going to go for the combo right now.
Yeah, I think you use one of them, and that's, you know, the best that you can get for now.
Although, I don't know, like, maybe I would have tried to conserve both of the Lurching Corpses until he played the Windmill, just because it does prevent you from dying to Bahamut's and Israfils and things like that. But this is the opening. You know, he's got to consider how much damage he's going to take from Ektar, which is 5, 8, 11, 12, 13. So it's not lethal, but it is scary.
Yeah. People not running Dreadsea as well.
Yeah, not running Dreadsea is the weirdest part of the deck, because from what we saw, at least yesterday and even the week previous, is that it gave you the lethal immediately as soon as you got to 10 play points. It doesn't wait.
And there was a combination of whatevers.
Whatevers,
right?
yeah.
Didn't need to be the ideal scenario.
All you need to do is cobble a few things together. I mean, Queen of the Dreadsea is 7 by herself. You throw together an Israfil, a Bahamut, a Zeus, whatever you know you have, plus whatever Dragoncraft card.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yep. Usually a Scyther.
Okay, Pure-Hearted to start things out. That means the tilting is delayed another turn.
Yep, and this kind of preempts a Sybil. That's kind of what this play signifies to me. It's really the only thing to do with 5 play points in hand that makes any sense. Could play another Singer, but doesn't feel too good.
It won't be long now.
Sybil Evolve. Ramps 1. Gets the healing. Can go into the Necro Assassin. Everything going well.
I think he's just trying to set up a turn to where he can actively play the tilting. Honestly, that's where he's trying to get to. He doesn't need to play it at this moment, though.
Zombie Party would be good, but
it's a great draw.
Israfil Evolve still is in play, but maybe you just get that out of their hand.
Same with Bahamut. Bahamut's still an option here. I mean, it's the best option, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could use a Soul Squasher on this, because you're not really going to get too much use out of a Soul Squasher. However, there's one Evolution Orb left for FELERAN, so maybe that is going to be safe for something like an Israfil. But again, as soon as tilting comes out, regular removal does not work against it.
Because they remove themselves.
Yeah, I think I would just Zombie Party. Zombie Party, crack face.
Yeah.
And knowing that there isn't Queen of the Dreadsea in FELERAN's deck, I'm not as afraid of tilting at Windmills as I would be against a normal player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they need a few turns to put that together, whereas Dreadsea could end it in one.
Guess the other consideration here is if he wants to evolve over the Pure-Hearted Singer. I don't think it's worth it. Maybe evolve face. But again, going into turn 10, probably not the smartest move.
All right, passes it back over. FELERAN is thinking about how to deal with the Zombie Party. There's quite a few options.
There is. I think I would start with the Bahamut and then lead into the Israfil. I mean, he could technically just do the Saha play. I mean, the Saha play is great here. That's actually probably the best. You can Pure-Hearted Singer alongside of that as well. Draw some more cards.
Mm-hmm. Looks like that's the choice. Here comes Sahak Wheel.
Pretty good card.
Yeah.
Especially in combination. The funny thing is, if Israfil wasn't a card, I don't think Sahak Wheel would be played.
I actually agree.
Kind of a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, there's not a lot of neutral followers out there that provide that board-wide effect.
I mean, before this, it was Lucifer, and Lucifer was great too. But Lucifer is no longer in rotation. Or I guess it never was.
Yeah. Lucifer has always been in the ether.
That's right. All right, we're getting closer to Aisha turns, but again...
6 damage to make up.
6 damage to make up. This is a tough battle to win if you're Shadowcraft. I mean, this is feeling a lot like the old battle, right? Where it's just you try to keep a board if you're Shadowcraft, but Dragoncraft just has so many options to keep the board clean. And if you give them 1 inch, if you give them a single turn, they can play that tilting at Windmills, and then the entire context of the game changes.
Yeah. It's all about FELERAN trying to find the opportunities to make that happen. Looks like he's going to play the Ector to try to board control.
Not a bad turn.
Yeah. It's going to be good. One of the zombies remains. Israfil is still available.
I think this will prompt a Bahamut. Israfil's still a fine play as well. That heals you back up to 20. We'll use your last evolution orb, though. So many Hamsas and Happy Pigs in hand.
Yeah.
Filling it up.
They're everywhere.
The really cool thing that I do like about Hamsa is that if your opponent ever missteps and they play something too large, you can just play a tilting with a Hamsa and win the game immediately, which is really cool.
Yeah. The 7 plus a 2. Will just do a lot of damage. But I don't think Shadowcraft can really get up that high in damage.
No, I think yeah, 5 to 7 is about the max. I think Ektar's the big boy in the deck.
Wow, FELERAN is just in the think tank.
Yeah, oh wow. Leading with the tilting, allowing us to go through. This is kind of scary.
Time to say goodbye.
He made a call out to say he knows that there's no Ektar.
Interesting, and he knew it was gonna die, so that he gains the 3 defense back at the end of the turn, which is super cool.
If there was an Ektar, he's just dead.
No,
is he not?
he's not dead.
2,
19.
5, 7 plus 2, 9 plus 6, 15 plus evolve, 17. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Not lethal. And Aisha doesn't have enough shadows to work with.
That's just 5.
The funny thing is Hamsa Pig is going to be enough to win next turn.
There was no ward as well.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's 10.
Is that lethal? That's lethal right there. There was an evolution point left. What are you, FELERAN? FELERAN, man, why you gotta leave 9 damage in play? That's true. You don't need the shadows if you have the evolution point for Aisha.
Oh, no.
Kind of feel bad for FELERAN's choice right there.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
That's rough.
Oh,
That's right. So
God.
Ektar not lethal. That is true. You counted the Ektar lethal. You did not count the Aisha lethal.
The Aisha lethal with the evolution orb.
That's right. We haven't seen that in play yet. We haven't seen Shadowcraft get an evolution orb that late in the game.
Yeah. Always have to be considering that it is the enhance effect that provides a storm. It is the necromancy effect that provides the evolve.
I can't believe that. Sheepy was probably just like, you sure? You sure you just want to do that?
Let me double check.
Interesting. Yeah, Sheepy was probably elated. I don't think he was thinking he was going to win that game. And then all of a sudden, given an opportunity.
That's tournament breaking.
It's huge. I mean, losing that match, especially when you're ahead, I think FELERAN was ahead that entire match. Losing that game when you're ahead cannot feel good. And now he's playing a very slow deck into this Daria deck. However, he was only 1 Curiate away from winning the last time against Daria.
Yeah, it was very, very close.
And he likes drawing these Gemstone Carapaces. I like it.
He gets them every time.
Yeah, I feel like they're the best. I feel like they're the actual best cards in Havencraft now. And the more you can get early, the better the games go.
Got the Giant Chimera early on, so that means Sheepy cannot play a single Daria.
And I still think it's funny, when the set got released, right? When Chronogenesis was like, hey, what's up? I was like, Gemstone Carapace. I'm like, This other one, though, the snakes.
Yeah.
The one that created the snakes. I was all hyped about that because of just mid-game push that it can do. But then after playing with it a single game, I was like, never mind. Gemstone Carapace is the truth.
Well, didn't you know that the tortoise always wins the race?
Tortoise always does win. Because he's smart. And he's big.
And he's hard-working.
Yeah, hares in this game are 0-2. Tortoise is bigger.
Very much bigger.
Yeah.
All right. This not drawing Daria thing still has probably a turn.
He does have a Chimera, and I've had plenty of experiences playing spell boost decks that only play Chimera as the top end. They're of course a little bit different, but I mean, all you have to do is kind of finagle this board state to where you're just like
play a removal game. Kind of use your plethora of spells.
Yeah. It's probably not going to work that way in a Daria deck. Probably going to get thrown away at the first sign of Daria, but definitely an option.
Yeah, the Giant Chimera always feels really left out and lonely.
Yeah. It's also at its worst against an Aegis deck because, especially if they get the Aegis out before you can kill them with the Chimera, then you're literally just sucking away 8 damage or 10 damage with the Aegis that you can't get around. It's actually the one downside of the Giant Chimera deck was the fact that if you play against Aegis decks, it gets kind of rough if you don't kill them fast enough.
Yeah, you need enough boost to do 10 damage and then do enough to actually end the enemy leader.
Even with a Loki sometimes, it's not even enough. It's like, man, he's just too big.
Too big. Too real.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to slow down at all with this Gemstone Carapace plan. Again, it's another way to kind of keep tempo with Daria. You get bigger followers for your cost. You get them out early.
Yeah, very, very helpful. Combined with the Red Hot Boots, I think. Red Hot Boots, Dark John, Beacon of Salvation. All of that stuff adds together to make the board state manageable.
All right, and he's got to play between a Clark and a Concentration.
What do you choose in this situation?
I feel like your hand's already big enough. Although the Clark only gets benefit off of 3 things. You have the Magic Owl next time. Maybe you Concentration this turn. That's an overdraw, though. That sounds pretty bad. I don't know. I think Clark is the play. Yeah, I don't want to overdraw.
I think Clark is the play.
Yep. It's like Sheepy disagrees. Finds something. Very nice.
Ooh.
But is going to overdraw next turn. Hopefully it's not a Daria.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I mean, my first inkling was to draw cards. It's just the overdraw in a situation like this could be drastically bad.
Yeah. You're right. If you overdraw your key card, you need to wait a whole nother turn.
Yeah, not even a whole nother turn. You might not get it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, his hand is stock full of things to do. Not great things, but things. And he can play this Giant Chimera plan. And he is going to get to 9 play points first. So maybe he can even kind of execute this game plan of finally get a Daria, get it down to 0, play the Giant Chimera for full value, then start the Daria game.
Which would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And Chimera is just going to make sure that nothing stays.
I didn't see the overdraw. It's too fast for me.
I didn't happen to see it either.
White Tiger the play instead of Gemstone Carapace for FELERAN, which is interesting going into an evolution turn. I don't think you get as much value out of your White Tiger doing it this way.
Mm-hmm. Definitely that effect can be very annoying. We saw that with menus during the time where Dimension Shift was very popular.
Oh, yeah.
Havencraft lists running both White Tigers and menus just made it so that there were games where RuneCraft just got shut out, but that's just not the case anymore.
It is not the case, no. This is not the old style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Piercing Rune was their only option. Now there's Mysterian Missiles, there's a Wind Blast, there's all sorts of things. And not as many protection effects.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I feel like Holy Fox Grimod and Menu both got rotated out, which kind of stinks for Haven.
Goodbye, menu.
Hmm?
Goodbye, Holy Fox. I think you just go on the game plan of boosting your Giant Chimera. I feel like it's a very simple game plan. You're up against a control deck.
Yeah, there's literally no problem with it. I don't think you have to go crazy.
And I think it's entirely in the realm of possibility, since this has been in your hands since the start of the game, to have it do upwards of 30 damage.
Absolutely. Not only that, you're maintaining board control from a very early turn. You're getting in a lot of damage. Doing this before turn 7 is huge. Doing it before turn 6 against a deck with Dark John, also very huge.
Yeah, has to deal with his board.
Marcher's Tea Time can't even be played right now, which that's the one downside of Marcher's Tea Time. It produces 2 permanents, and if you already have a bunch of stuff in play, you're just like, oh man.
There's nothing that does 5 damage. So there's no way to actually get rid of your own turtles.
Yeah. Kind of rough, because Marcher's Tea Time would be the best play this turn. Instead, probably just going to go after a Red Hot Boots or possibly a Gemstone Carapace. Probably Red Hot Boots.
You were done for.
Okay. Well, if he removes Ogler and Owl, there's 6 damage in play. But there's 2 circles to ward up behind.
Interesting.
I guess Dark John is going to come through and sweep everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, the Red Hot Boots makes it 4 damage.
Yeah, Dark John's going to be crazy next turn if the board sets up the proper way. Because this might just be a turn where he goes circle, circle, evolve one of the Blade Mages and go. And then, yeah, Dark John just kind of slaps him in the face.
Yeah. That's going to be real damaging if he goes down that line. Sheepy needs to be very careful here.
That's right, going for the Insight.
Oh, there's Daria.
Yeah, possibly instead of using the Wind Blast this turn, which might be a little dangerous. Could still go half and half.
Yeah. Yeah. The 3 defense is annoying. You either throw both your Blade Mages in or you spend an Evolution Orb on.
Well, you're not playing defensively if you're Sheepy here. You're definitely thinking about cracking face. It's just, do you want to play the Wind Blast on something or do you want to put 2 wards up? And you know your opponent's playing Dark John. Like, it just feels super
That's
sneaky.
a lot of damage coming back at you.
It is, but I think you have to take that trade. And worst case scenario, the Giant Chimera can play board control. Doesn't necessarily have to end the game by itself. But again, we're still 3 turns away from that, so.
Yeah. If he doesn't remove either of the turtles, that's 16 damage coming back at him.
I like it. Putting it into Dark John range. Oh, wow, no. Just sacrificing his entire board for it. Interesting. That means he's probably going to evolve this over, yep.
Wants nothing to remain.
Yep. No more tempo for you, Haven. Me. Saves his other circle, possibly for the Daria play. Very interesting way Sheepy played that turn. Really, I feel like really playing into this Giant Chimera plan.
Yeah. Which is completely fine. There's not...
completely fine.
I mean, once he shut that down, what other way does Havencraft have to win in these early turns?
That's true. And again, he is going to get that Chimera before, and he just has a chance to hit the table, so it will do as much damage as it possibly can.
It's probably, honestly, based on how fast it boosted last game, it's probably at like 20-something.
Yeah, it's probably at like 567,
Yeah,
which is dope.
I think that's close, yeah. I haven't seen that on screen yet, but...
See, the most I ever got a Giant Chimera up to pre-Loki in an actual deck that was aiming to do it, I think it was like 33. I think it's the highest I've ever gotten.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Throw a Loki in there, and you're good. You can win 3 to 4 games in a row with all that damage. It bounces to the next game.
I wish. That would be the best deck ever. I would play Giant Chimera at every tournament ever. If you deal your opponent over damage, it persists through the next game. Yeah, that would be stupid. Terrible idea,
Just have
Rainy.
decks that have like a bunch of like Swift Bladers and like anti-pings like Angel of the Word.
And you're just like, all right, I've killed you, but...
Yeah, my next deck can ping you. Yeah. That's great. That's great. That's a great tournament for him.
Yep, and it looks like next turn's probably going to be Golem Assault and just play one of the Golems for Sheepy. FELERAN's got to put some defense on the board quick. He thinks, like, this is the thing. He thinks he's super ahead right now. He's like, he hasn't played a Daria. Everything's going great.
Little does he know.
Yeah, Giant Chimera waiting in the wings. Because this is, like, generally speaking, when you play against a Daria deck and they kind of piddle around like this, you're just like, all right, everything's good. Like, literally, I don't care about anything. That's not the case.
Just play out your most optimal line for your deck.
I feel like Judge of Retribution's a fine call here. Draw a card, put 5 defense in play. Honestly, because this is leading into turn 9 and 2 turns, maybe even a pre-evo on it. I'd highly consider it. There's not really a way to take out a 7 defense follower from Sheepy in his deck without a Wind Blast.
Okay.
I think FELERAN read Sheepy's book on how to play competitive.
Very, very thinking players. They're just sitting there thinking.
All right, this is a good play too with the Carapace. I like it.
The real battle begins.
Much better use of the Evolve.
Okay. The
Saves the
gemstone
defense
carapace.
too. That's very indicative of knowing what Sheepy is doing, of keeping the defense there.
Yeah. Ooh, another Wind Blast. Nice.
Yeah, but look at all this defense, especially now with the Judge of Retribution on top with an Evo. This is going to be pretty good.
Yeah. Doesn't have any more Dark Johns. Wow. The Red Hot can actually get there too. But I think the Judge probably is a better choice.
Judge is great here. It basically mitigates Chimera from being able to take you down. At least I would hope.
Here it comes. Judge of Retribution.
Don't need to pre-evo something, but I probably would to be safe. But he is going to save it for his Aegis instead, which is perfectly fine.
Oh,
All right,
wow.
Let's see the damage.
39. Is that what it was?
No.
Wow.
God, no. 39? Get out of here. What?
This is hard to read. It said 29 probably.
I don't think it was that high.
Interesting. Would you have dropped the Giant Chimera at that time?
I think he has to.
I
He
think
needs
you
to play
had
it for
to.
board control because, like, that was the plan, right? It's like play Giant
Yeah.
Chimera as soon as you can, and then just start Daring. Just start going crazy with Daria.
Heavenly Aegis.
Let us conclude.
Like this is able to take out the Chimera, and I think the door is shutting for Sheepy. These wards aren't going to do anything against the hand that FELERAN has. He's got multiple Jeans in hand.
Yeah. It was a very good turn on FELERAN's side.
He's going to try to make it work with a Daria, though. Considering throwing away his other cards, I think he should. There's not really a reason to stall the Daria for another turn.
Yeah. You're losing play points by playing the Wind Blast.
Okay, wants to get Ogler value.
With a bang and a boom.
Okay.
Okay, well, I mean, that's not bad. That's definitely not bad. It gives him another follower to put into play this turn that kind of side skirts the Jeans. It might possibly make this Aegis play defensively, which is exactly what you want it to be doing. Plays the Owl instead. Don't like that play.
Yeah.
Just another card that gets eaten up by any of the board wipes in FELERAN's deck. But Bahamut is also in the wings.
Yeah, and I think that's obvious. The obvious choice here with Aegis on the table.
It's been a long time since I've seen a nice little Bahamut fall right behind the Aegis, but I believe there is, I believe there is no better play here.
A clear answer, and that puts Sheepy in a very, very, very tough spot.
Yeah, what does he do here? He can play a big board, but these boys on the side of FELERAN a little bit too big.
Nothing wardy, nothing gonna stop the Aegis from swinging again. That means FELERAN has won the game off the back of the Heavenly Aegis in the late game.
Honestly, I think this Daria deck's going to be Sheepy's downfall. I think it's just a little too slow to beat these really grindy decks.
He wasn't able to put together the Daria. I mean, the only hope was for that Giant Chimera to be even more boosted, but that wasn't a possibility either.
FELERAN stretching after that game.
Definitely need it.
Yeah.
These guys are both in the same school of think long.
Right, and I feel like this is a very similar situation. FELERAN's got a slight edge here because his deck is not as dirtily.
This one's
Yeah,
for
avoiding
my
the
family.
Dirtle. Oh, there's two Darias. This is where you send a Daria away, and it turns around and comes right back.
This is also the deck that we saw FELERAN kind of misstep, right? Over counted his tilting at windmills and didn't really count the lethal that the Shadowcraft deck had up its wing. So let's see if he doesn't make this mistake again.
Yeah.
A lot easier not to against Daria because it doesn't have a card like Aisha, but I think that's probably what he thought. He probably thought the same thing that we were thinking immediately, is that there's not 10 shadows and we're really worried about it.
Yeah.
Did not count the evolution orb.
It's important. The Evolution Orb increases the damage done by 5 rather than just 2 or 1. Double strike is a real thing. Okay.
This is a perfect hand.
It's a good hand.
Yeah, it's about as good as it gets. Especially if he gets another insight here, this hand can get a little crazy. Just a little bit.
Yeah, depending on the draw he gets off insight, it could get even more powerful. It could just kind of skyrocket.
That's
And
right.
we've seen what happens when Daria skyrockets.
Yeah, it's
Goes
been a while
further than-
since we've seen a turn 4 Daria, though. It's a lot harder to pull off these days. Still possible, though. Another Mysterian Knowledge as well could do it.
Yeah, pulling the Blade Mage is good insofar that he has Clark, but for any other reason, not so great.
That's definitely
Okay.
not going to do it. Does give him a play, though. A proactive play to start dealing some damage. Feel like this is easy, Uriel. Get the tilting out early.
Yeah. Uriel is nice, especially in this list. Guarantees that you have the tilting. 3-3 isn't too terrible in this stage of the game.
No, definitely not. I feel like Dragon can get away with it a little bit more because it can ramp. You know, a turn 3, quote-unquote. You know, 3-3 is still on par.
Yeah. Big thing here is Sheepy continues this advanced game plan of just boosting.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. See what he gets off the knowledge. See if it's a circle. Circle, great.
It's a
Sorry,
missile.
a missile, rather.
Yep,
That's
missile
what I
will
meant.
be able to remove. Do one.
Keep dealing the damage.
Yep, very nice.
Very
Things
nice.
are going very nicely.
Yep, and then you can Clark up next turn. Either that or top deck a Magic Owl and then be able to use your Wind Blast as well, like a pro.
Yeah.
This song's for you.
Pure Hearted Singer alongside Happy Pig, and I mean, it's a play, but it's not getting FELERAN anywhere.
Right. So definitely going to look to
Second Daria
Fervor
sucks.
so that he can play the tilting fast. Running the second Daria here, unfortunate for Sheepy.
It's knowledge I seek.
Yeah, I think he should play the Clark. Which means a turn 5 Daria is probably where it's going to be.
It's not a bad turn to unload either.
Yeah.
Next turn, it's pretty good.
Would you evolve and go face?
I don't think so. I think killing the Happy Pig before it has
Yeah.
a chance to evolve is always the correct choice.
You're saving yourself a lot of extra damage by doing so. You
Oh,
go
wow.
for a full board
Full
trade.
board trade, I like it. Again, this is a really nice setup against Dragon because if they want a Fervor, they don't have anything that can take out your board.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is a turn that Sybil can be played, so the double trade isn't as effective. Generally on turn 5, you can't play the Sybil because it won't heal you as well, but because of the earlier ramp, it can now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being at 6 at this point with the first evolution orb means that Sybil is better to activate because it will ramp itself into overflow, and then you get the
that free.
healing.
That's right.
Meanwhile, the Daria sits there still at 4 cost, and drawing that second Daria is just such a tempo loss, I feel like.
You never want to do it, you know, but they
Yeah.
all alternate are alternate art leader Darias, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, always good to see. So even if you lose a tournament, you can at least bask in the glory.
Yeah. I'm still missing all mine. I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
It's never going to happen.
It's never gonna happen for me.
I think it's going to happen one day.
I don't think so.
You just need to believe.
I did believe.
You
I
need to
believed
put
for a long
yourself
time.
out there. There are other people out there. There's not just Daria in this world.
I won Aldos. I still just won Aldos. It's the only one I care about.
There are other people. There's not just others in the world.
Look, man.
Dance to me,
Look, man.
blue.
I'm a simple man. I only have a few needs. Okay. One of them is Aldos leader.
You need your mans.
Yeah, need my mans.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Okay. I don't. It's a lot of stuff in your hand. Kind of want to play out the Blade Mage. Or the Chimera. Both of them seem pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you can just do a full spell turn this turn. You can go Conjure Golem into Wind Blast, into Blade Mage, and the next turn you can play out possibly a Chimera and a Daria to have another tempo swing. Going with the Chimera instead. Okay. That is cheaper on the play points for next turn. Got the Blade Mage and the Daria next turn.
And now he's evolving. Man, if he had just started a turn earlier.
You never know, man.
You never know.
You never know.
Okay. There's no opportunity to play tilting, and I don't think there's going to be for a while.
That's a little too scary to take 12 damage at this point in the game. I think you've got to play a little bit more board-centric. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of good options to do that either. He's got the Happy Pig.
Is a Strix golden and glowing?
Don't know.
Probably the Happy Pig is the best to do here.
Yeah, I think Fervor Happy Pig's pretty good turn.
You'll heal up 3, remove the Chimera, have more draw off the Fervor. Might pull you into a Sahak Wheel.
Or you can Oracle first and see what happens, and then play the Happy Pig, and then you have 4 left over to play a Strix or Lyrial. Probably the Strix. And if that's the case, maybe you play the Strix first, if it is active. That way you don't draw too many cards over it.
I kind of feel like the Happy Pig Fervor option. Okay, he goes for the Oracle.
Ooh, finds a Hamsa. So that gives him another thing to play this turn. Not bad.
Yeah. Hams is probably going to come down with 4 if he decides to play it. Huh. Okay. Make him go whole hog.
Won't be long now.
Every time whole hog. You know, when a pig grows wings, and all of a sudden, I don't know where the crown comes from, but the wings, you know, like what does that make you feel? You know, ever since you were a little kid,
Yeah?
people said, you know, only when pigs can fly.
Yeah.
What happens to the world when pigs can fly? Do all of those things come true? Does the world just turn upside down?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep. That's exactly what happens, actually. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a Daria turn. Enchanted Blade. Ho!
I don't think he's playing
Yeah,
those.
he's not.
He's playing slow Daria.
Nope. Yeah, and that's what you were saying, right? Maybe this Daria deck is too slow. Didn't really hit anything that boosts anything.
I think it is just a little too slow for a Daria deck. Like, I mean, it's high value. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of value to be had in it. There's Giant Chimera to win in situations where Daria decks wouldn't normally be able to win. But it doesn't also win a lot of the ways that Daria should win, which is fast. On turn 6. On turn 7.
Nice.
He's still super far away, and he's going into 10 play points for FELERAN.
I would evolve this Clay Golem. Actually.
I kind of like the evolve here. Yeah, but Bahamut is scary if you do that.
We know that there's no Bahamut, but
Yes, we know this.
does get around Salamanders and Israfils.
Yep. I think without an evolve here, best draw FELERAN can get is a Blazing Breath. With an evolve here, gets a little bit rougher, because the Israfil would have been the best play. Definitely not looking for a Bahamut.
All right, can he pull it? Nope. Okay, that is
Yikes.
tough. This is rough. There's no Evolution Orb. There's
that's
no
right.
Sahak Wheel.
There's not even an Evolution Orb, so the Blazing Breath would have been a bad draw anyway. Israfil can't be used. This might just be too much. FELERAN
has to
without any
draw.
options.
Yeah, he has to draw.
Has to.
Man.
This is rough. This is what happens when you play too many Hamsas.
Yeah, I feel like it. You know, if he had a few bits of extra boost or extra ramp here and there, he would have been able to get to the Israfil turn faster. Would have been able to use the evolve there.
That
Wow.
Hector was insane, as always.
And the Sahak Wheel afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Hector will allow 1 Clay Golem down, provide the ward, which means that only 5 will go through on board currently. Even if there is a missile pool that's not enough, there's no Evolution Orb.
Yeah, Hector was a great pull.
Yeah.
Great. Gives you another turn to draw into a Bahamut. Also, like you said, the Sahak Wheel drawn freshly for the Israfil to help with the board. A little tough to deal with the board with the Israfil with the defense values of what the Runecraft followers have at the moment and in hand. The Clarks don't really go down to that either. Although Clark's not really at the top of the priority list to play either.
Yeah. He really wants to be looking for some removal right now.
On the warfield, a shining helmet. Oh.
Okay. It's the only play.
Ooh. Not quite low enough to play yet. That was, I mean, if that top deck, if it could have been played off the top, would have been insanity.
Yeah. Play the Chimera for 9, remove the ward, and start swinging.
Still think it's really good. I mean, now those Clarks get a little bit higher value, especially if you're thinking about how can my opponent really come back from this.
If he didn't demonstrate Bahamut last turn, I think you just keep going with this play. Keep everything above 2. Clarks do that job very nicely.
Yeah, it's something to consider here. Like, if they don't have Bahamut, that means they probably have an Israfil or a Sahaquil in their hand, but maybe not either or both or something like that, right? So if they don't have the Bahamut, what's the best way to fill up your board without hurting or without losing any of it? Protect against the Israfil play.
Yeah.
Because if they top deck Bahamut, whatever, if they have one half of the Israfil Sahaquil combo and they play it next turn, which is more likely, I guess it's just equally likely, you can put together a board with a lot of defense, which I think is what he's going for right here.
That 1 damage might have been the difference here.
Oh, nope. Plays the defense follower instead.
So the Sahaquil is actually going to be fairly
Pretty
effective, yeah.
Pretty good. You only keep 1 extra follower if you do the other Clark play, but that's huge. That's an extra 2 damage.
Man, it would be so nice if you could have chosen to drop the ward on the 4/4.
Honestly speaking, you know what I think is really hurting FELERAN is simply the fact that he's not playing Queen of the Dreadsea. He can't set up lethals as easily, so he can't take those risk turns of playing out the tilting at windmills.
Because
so
he
that
doesn't
he can just
know
win.
if he can just win.
Right.
If he had been on turn 9 or turn 8 or something like that, and he knew, like, oh, I can afford to take this damage because I know that if I make it to turn 10,
yeah,
the game's just over,
it's
and
over.
I don't have to worry about the board state or anything like that.
So I want to say that FELERAN's deck is not as greedy as I would like it to be, which is interesting to say for a Dragoncraft deck.
There it is. The Israfil makes an appearance. And now any combination of Mistling for bits and pieces of damage.
It's knowledge I seek.
Yeah, if a Bahamut's not drawn, I don't know how FELERAN's ever supposed to get back into this game. I mean, he has another chance to draw a Sahaquil as well.
Such pain.
And that will help.
Okay. Double Israfil.
Wrong piece.
But I don't know. There's nothing else.
Honestly, you know what? I think if I'm FELERAN at this point, I just play an Israfil.
Yeah, you have to.
Just play it. You're looking at 8 damage. Go to 11. You put yourself to 3, which is a really good number against a deck that doesn't have piercing runes or magic. Or he probably has magic missiles, but doesn't have piercing runes.
Yeah. I think you have to play the Israfil because you have to demonstrate if you aren't able to defeat me, the Israfil can swing back.
Yeah, if you can play Israfil into Israfil with your first 1 living, I think you can just win this game. I think that's just enough power to deal with whatever SHEEPY has to do.
And Daria is running out of gas, right? You know, if there's 2 cards in hand and he hasn't played a Daria yet, Daria's probably not there. And it's weak.
It's a lot sketchier to play the Fervor this time, too, because you're at much lower defense. There's 8 in play.
And your problem persists, right? If you play Fervor, sure, you get a card draw, but that likely won't help the situation.
Yeah, you'd have to get specifically another Hector again off of it. I think FELERAN's making that choice right now. I think he ultimately will go with an Israfil. It's the strongest play you can make.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. There it is.
All right, let's see if SHEEPY can find something. Oh, that's some options.
Digging.
Finds a Giant Chimera and a Flame Destroyer. Not quite what he needs right now.
Interesting. I think this might quickly close the game out.
He might just go all face and then Giant Chimera, but that's not going to be enough to get around the Israfil.
I think you need to fill up again with as many followers that are over 2.
He's playing out the Magic Owl. That means he's probably trading.
Yep.
What?
No. So,
That literally doesn't make any sense to play the Owl there.
yeah, it's just feeding the owl into... So, if you swing and you play another Israfil, I think you're still done. Because the Clark and the Ogler survive.
Too many things stay alive here, yeah.
5. You'll be exactly at 5. If there is any kind of spell removal, I guess at this point, this is where you need a Draconic Fervor. Or do you Oracle first?
Well, I think you have to Fervor because then, again, the only answer that you have... Well, I guess you could Saha Quill. That's probably the best possible thing, yeah. So I'd probably Oracle and hope for a Saha Quill.
And hope for a Blazing Breath on the Fervor?
Well, no, I don't think you can play the Fervor is what I'm saying.
Well, if you Oracle and don't get anything, then you have to play the Fervor.
Right. And
The
then,
Fervor
yeah,
has to get
Blazing Breath.
Blazing Breath.
But then I think you're still done. There are too many followers left over still.
In that case, I think Fervor is actually the best chance. Okay. Well, if you heal 3, 7, 5 is left. So you're still alive.
Yeah,
if you
still
play
alive.
Sybil.
Yeah, the Sybil was a great draw.
How interesting.
Oh, man.
This is a tight game.
And if Sheepy can't end this, he needs to go for the Sybil first. Well, yeah.
Okay. That was a really good pull.
Nice.
These Chimeras off the top are really good.
But again, are you going to leave that Israfil? Because this time the Israfil swings face.
Yeah.
Right? And the second Israfil can come down.
Well, it really just depends on how big the Chimera is now. I don't think it's much bigger than like 2 or 3. He hasn't played that many spells. He's played 2 magic missiles.
Yeah, I think the Chimera is like 2 or 3. It's not relevant yet.
Hey, is Phil gone? This is still a good trade for 5 damage and heal 3, so he's essentially attacking for 2 this turn if he doesn't kill the Sybil.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's going to go with. So, if he does use the Israfil... Wow,
Yeah,
the
he goes
Bahamut
back up
actually
to
provides
9.
a really good barrier against Giant Chimera. Of course, FELERAN has no idea that the Giant Chimera is
Right.
boosting or not, so he needs to make the decision individually of that.
Honestly, I think the best turn this turn is to play Tilting at Windmills, play Hamsa, clear off as much of the board as you can, and then you go back up to 5 and you leave 2 in play.
If you play the Israfil, you go up to 6 plus 3, 9. He can do 6. You go back down to 3, but now you have an Israfil and a Sybil.
I think it's a little bit safer to do the Hamsa play.
If
Clear
you
off
do
more of the board.
Hamsa and you install Tilting, which is great, and your next Israfil becomes instant.
Yep, same with the Bahamut and everything else. It just makes every
Yeah.
turn after better.
So if
However,
you
it does
go-
leave you open to a Giant Chimera, technically.
You will heal up to 5, so if that Chimera has
I think it's at
like
2.
6, if the
Yeah.
Chimera has like 6 damage, then you're done, because
Right.
your Sybil is going to be left with 1. Okay, what's it going to be?
He's going with the Tilting play. I like it.
I'm no mere duck.
You can see him sweating, though. It's not like this
Yeah.
is a comfortable play.
Yeah.
But I think it is the best one.
Actually, no. The Chimera has to be. It can even be less because of Clark swings. Is this over?
Let's see.
5.
Is that 5?
1, 2, 4. Yep, it's over.
All right, that's that. Giant
It's
Chimera just a
over.
little too big.
Oh no, no! It's so interesting. If that
What
tilting,
a match.
because the thing is, like, he could have potentially also maybe done something like swing the Happy Pig in there. You know, if the tilting was down.
That's true.
I don't know.
That's such a weird game to try to
The risk
play.
of taking the Oracle too is like, are you really going to draw something that's going to save you?
Yep.
The other point, the other part of that too is